Hello everyone. A few years back, I was heading a cement company and one of our captive power plants met with a massive fire accident. So we set up an investigation team to go and look into the reasons and causes for this kind of an failure. This investigating team went and interacted with all managers who were directly or indirectly connected with the operations of this plant. In their interactions with these managers, the kind of statements that we heard were something like this: I was following the instructions. I did my job as it was written down. This was not my role. I thought this will be checked by someone else. How frequently have you as professionals undergone similar kind of situations in your life? I'm sure they would be very common. The one streak that runs down such kind of statements, such kind of excuses that we give in our professional lives is a lack of accountability. Accountability, which often does not get that kind of an importance from leaders as it deserves. So today I'm going to spend some time with you and we'll explore what accountability really means and what kind of advantages accrue to an organization which has an accountability culture. To start with, let's look at two words: responsibility and accountability. These two words we often use interchangeably. Look at responsibility, it can be seen as composed of two parts: response and ability, meaning your ability to respond to something. For example, I am a citizen of India and therefore I have a responsibility to the country. But how much do I exercise that responsibility varies from individual to individual. Similarly, we can look at accountability as two parts: account and ability. Your ability to count or your ability to account for something. And most of the organizations for various roles have very clearly listed down job descriptions. Our job descriptions read like, you will be responsible for doing this will be under you, X, Y, Z. Number of things are listed down. So there is quite a bit of clarity for what the individual is responsible in an organization. But then the question arises, where is the gap? And to explore this, let's look at a common example of a salesperson. Every salesperson gets a daily route chart, something like a route map, a beat chart of the places that he has to visit during the day, the counters he will visit, and he goes there and explores the options of increasing company sale. Imagine a sales guy who's doing his job very well, but in one of the routes that he's moving around, there are a couple of new outlets coming up. There is a new business hub coming up. But this boy ignores that because it's not listed in his route chart, or probably he has no idea that doing that will get some benefit to his organization. Consequently, what happens? His company may lose an opportunity to increase their sales and market share. So clearly a case where an individual is probably 100% in doing what his responsibility is listed down, but still not getting the results which are expected from that role. And therefore we can see that there is an impact of ownership, and that is where the subtle difference comes in. And we can look at responsibility as taking ownership of actions that you are supposed to do, of doing what you are supposed to do, while accountability is taking ownership of results, of being responsible, of taking responsibility of the results that come out of your actions. Having seen this subtle difference between these two words and understood that accountability is all about ownership of results, what are the kind of benefits an organization will get if there is this kind of a culture? So for organizations which have accountability as a culture, the first benefit that accrues is clarity. Clarity of roles and responsibilities. There is no confusion as to who's going to do what. And the next thing is since every individual, every team is taking accountability for their actions, is becoming responsible for what they're supposed to deliver, it builds in an element of trust. It builds in a positive environment where everybody starts performing because the person on his left and the person on his right is doing the same. And this trust galvanizes an organization to drive performance. A study by McKinsey has shown that organizations which have an accountability culture far outperform those organizations where there is a gap in this kind of a culture. So to summarize, we have seen today accountability is taking ownership of the results that your actions bring in. And to an organization, it gives three benefits. It builds clarity, trust, and drives performance. But before we close today, I would like to leave an insight with you. We can, by order, by job descriptions, by decree, assign responsibilities to individuals. That's quite simple. But the challenge is that accountability is to be taken by the individuals. And therefore, the challenge before the leaders is how do they build a culture where people take accountability of their actions. This and other aspects I'm going to explore in our subsequent podcasts. Till then, bye bye. See you.